Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to the 98th episode of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Well, we've had quite a week, to put it lightly, but it seems that's par for the course lately, am I right? I mean, doesn't it seem like there's a new crisis created every single week anymore? Something new to shock us or to make us afraid or to make us angry? There's no wonder mental health is a big concern and so many reasons for us to make sure that we're caring for our own mental health as much, if not more, than our physical health, at least right now. So I've created this episode for all of us to wake us up, to encourage us, to inspire us, and most of all, to empower us. Because from the bottom of my heart, I truly believe that we're each way more powerful than we think we are. And I want to speak to that power, and I want to embolden that power in each of us. And since humans love stories and visuals, well, at least I do, I wanted to create a visual for you. I think you'll like it. But first, I want to say this. We're each on a journey that is our very own path, one that is uniquely ours. Okay, with that thought in mind, I'm going to create a visual in your mind. Now, I want you to really picture this. So if you're driving, stay aware enough to not get into an accident, please. So picture yourself as an eagle. You're flying over a vast terrain with mountains and trees. And every single person in the world has their very own path, and they're forging it. And you can see them from up in the sky. When babies are born, they get their own path, which is initially charted by their parents until they reach like 13 or 14. So on our paths we're forging, we may have bunches of parallel paths of people that are acquaintances, so they're alongside of us. But we can also see that there's bunches of paths that you're following and are also following you. Of course, in the beginning, it's your parents that you're following. But when you get to a certain age, you start making decisions on your own that mainly affect you. Now, they may initially affect others in a way. I'll give you an example of that. A friend of mine had a 16-year-old son that said he was going to have some friends over to the house, which she said was fine as long as nobody got rowdy. Now, she was completely unaware of what was going on, though, and was oblivious to the underage drinking happening. Unfortunately, someone called the police who came to the house, and she ended up in court on 15 counts of allowing underage drinking, and she had no idea what was even going on. So sometimes your decisions affect others. But ultimately, that kid is going to be making his own path and mom is still going to be on hers. The bird's eye view also shows you well-trodden, easy paths with lots of people following certain dogmas like religion, social media influence, politics, to mention some of the biggest ones. It's really no thinking for themselves, only following the pack. And that's okay because that's their path. And it has nothing to do with you unless you let it or unless you're on one of those paths. And there are a lot of those, and I think a majority of people are on them. But you're different, and you think for yourself. I know this because you're listening to this podcast. And you understand that you have to carve your own path, and things aren't always going to be easy. I mean, sometimes it'll be easy. And sometimes it'll be so hard you want to give up because it feels like you're climbing the steepest, tallest, hardest mountain. And you think you'll never make it over, but boy, when you don't give up and you make it to the top, there's a view that's so amazing, you know it was all worth it. And then on the other side is often a glorious path that not many people get to see because they never even try. Sometimes you see people that are forging paths that no one has ever gone down before. The visionaries, entrepreneurs, all those wildly successful people. They just inspire us so much. And then sometimes from your bird's eye view, you see people that are taking a really hard path and there's an easy one right next to it. But they don't even see it because they don't seek the knowledge or the information to get onto that path. And it's usually there. But in your eagle eye view, you can see it easily. All right, now from your bird's eye view, I want you to visualize you on your path, your path. Are you following your dream or someone else's? Are you taking the easy, well-trodden path because it's safe and it doesn't require a lot of extra effort or risk? Are you following the pack The one that's always outraged? Or maybe the one that's always up to date on the latest Netflix series? Are the decisions you're making right now, the decisions of what you watch, what you read, who you hang out with, what you do, and the habits you're creating, are they forging a path that are going to lead to your dream life? That leads to you being the star of your very own life? I know it can be hard to be on a path that's different from the crowd. But think about it this way, and I saw this on a meme, said choose your hard. It's hard to be fit, but it's also hard being overweight. It's hard to be financially disciplined, but it's also hard to be in debt. It's hard to be consistent, but it's also hard to be uninspired. See, the decisions we make all day affect who we are and how our life is going to be. Every decision you make either empowers you or enslaves you. In fact, Brooke Castillo says, all of your power comes from the big decisions you make and consistently stick to. That's a lot of power you have in your control. So if you're feeling beat down or distressed, if you're feeling like life is so hard right now, I can tell you one thing for sure. Being healthy makes life easier. Being financially disciplined makes life easier. Being consistent makes life easier. And those are all things you control. Some of the things going on, in fact, a lot of the things going on in the world, you have no control over, and worrying about them is not helping. And it's easy to say, well, this happened or this happened. Okay, yes, we are always going to have things happen that aren't great, but how we respond is everything. You can respond by throwing in the towel and giving up, or you can respond by using it as fuel. Fuel to empower yourself, fuel to build an internal strength that no one can break, fuel to make yourself the best version of you that you possibly can. No one else can do that for you but you. There's so many things in life that can discourage us. I know that. I mean, there's so many obstacles, but how we deal with them is ultimately how our life will end up. That's the game. When you really boil it down to what matters in life, it's all about you and knowing when all else fails, you have your own back. Protect your peace like your sanity depends on it, because it does. Protect your health like your life depends on it, because it does. Protect your mind like your happiness depends on it, because it does. If you're an adult, you're the one forging your own path, not your mom and dad, not your spouse. You may be following a similar path, but you don't have to. Not if it doesn't work for you. Don't be afraid to change directions. You're worth it. My challenge to you this week, be aware of each decision you make. Is it empowering you or is it enslaving you? Is it empowering you to remain calm or enslaving you to fear? Is it empowering you to vitality or is it enslaving you to cravings? Is it empowering you to think for yourself or enslaving you to the pack? I love you guys, and heads up, I won't have an interview come out this Wednesday because next Wednesday will be my 100th episode, and, well, I wanted to do something special for you. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.